Hello, welcome. My guest today is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, the Minister of International Trade and Industry. Tan Sri, thank you very much for your time. It's good to see you in good health. Let me first start by asking, is international trade and industry your cup of tea?
Very much so, because economics basically generally is my sort of forte or interest, and that has been an area which I'm very close to my heart, because I took up a subject of economics in university during my younger days, and of course many years after that through the various portfolios I have, especially in some of the economic portfolios, trade, domestic trade, now international trade, agricultural trade, agro-based industries, running state government like the state of Johor, for example. There are a lot of economic matters. Of course, trade is one of those things. So, and now more than trade is investments.
After your very successful tenure as the Agriculture and Agro-based Industries Minister, you have moved to a new ministry. You were also Minister of Domestic Trade and Industry, but this is a different ball game altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not really totally different, but only it has been hyped up because of many latest development issues as regard to managing inflations, rising costs of food, and some of the essential items, of course, issue of subsidies in the area of food, and of course, petroleum subsidies for consumers is nearly the same subject, but it has been put at much higher level of interest because of critical what I call matter which is of interest to all Malaysians. So basically that, and of course it's now been widened to accommodate many areas on how to, for example, move forward in terms of managing supply situation. That's where my previous portfolio of agriculture, agro-based industries very much got to do with that, you know, because the strategy was to increase food supplies so that you could stabilize the price in the domestic market. And that is still a matter which we are still, I would believe, at not necessarily infant stage, but still only halfway through, because the level of production is still low, a lot of scopes that you can expand which has not been expanded, a lot of issues we have to address as regard to land matters. And now we're talking about shortage of food, so that becomes more critical. And of course, issue of stockpile, which was not discussed before. I actually mooted the idea of stockpile about more than a year ago in anticipation of possible shortage of rice. This is based on FAO report. When I attended the meeting in 2007 early in Bangkok, a report from FAO indicated there will be shortfall of 5 million metric tons for many reasons. Because one is shortage of supplies, climatic change, issue of countries who don't have stockpile suddenly think of stockpiling. Country who has got stockpile but kept only a few million tons, and they're upping the tonnage so that they have more supplies at home. So all these issues. So basically I think it's much more challenging to manage domestic trade issues now than before. And also now we're talking about at the same time trying to manage the inflations and then liberalizing certain aspects of our industry. Steel and cement is one particular area which is under this ministry, but of course Ministry of Domestic Trade get involved in terms of price control and supply situation. So those things also become more critical, but there will be some good news that will be coming up, and how government wants to deal with the situation of price and more liberal approach being taken to ensure continued supply situation in the country.
Agriculture was a very big business when you were minister, and you think your previous stint, you did travel extensively. I remember to Australia, to the Netherlands, to pick up ideas on modern techniques. Do you think that gives you a head start now in your job as the International Trade Minister?
Not directly a correlation, because those were the time when I was looking into how to modernize agriculture, how to increase food production, how to improve the level of productivity, how to diversify crops and introduce new technology. Those are areas which I think that Dr. Mustafa will hopefully now not just look into it, but of course move on from there on, because we still are groping with subject of trying to modernize the agriculture sector. Basically because most of our farmers are 60s and above, short of educations, and this small hectareage of land has become a structural problem since day one until today. How you do merge them into bigger, more commercially viable sort of size. So these are the issues, and because of that, there is a dire need to look into how or what sort of technology for increased crops production that Malaysia can apply. And going to, of course, Netherlands and many of those countries give me a little insight into what can be done. But into this ministry, of course, we look into the bigger issues of increasing production for exports. And that, to a lesser extent, has been successful, especially in the food sector area. But still, I think, more scope for us to look at in the future.